time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Huber way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah, I got the
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another broadcast of Kidney Hub East Africa. I am half your host, Steve the Kidney Nurse. Welcome. Man, it's been a minute since we done Kidney Hub East Africa because of many misfortunes. One, I was involved in another car accident. I tell you, me and car accidents, not getting well, not getting along. But yes, within the last 2 months, somebody rear-ended me. And again, injured my back. And again, another round of 4 to 6 weeks of therapy. So, but I thank God. I thank God that I'm still here today to continue these shows and share that story. And then Brother Moses has been under the weather with the flu. And he was really dealing with it bad. But I'm happy to say he is back today. He is finally back. I know a lot of you have been asking how Brother Moses been. Is he well? Sending your thoughts and prayers. And we definitely thank you for that. So today, what our topic is managing fluid during the hot summer months. And we know some of you live in regions where the temperature has been like a furnace, over 100 degrees. And you may be on dialysis, got kidney disease, and wonder how I'm going to manage. They say I can't have no more than 32 ounces. What do I supposed to do? I'm thirsty. You got some people who just drink, and then when they come to dialysis, they're fluid overload. Sometimes they have a wide range of symptoms. We're going to talk about that. But before we do, let's bring on our other hosts that are, like I said, I am so happy to see. Let's give him the co-host VIP Brother Moses, what's going on?
Hey, brother Steve, how are you?
All right, man. It's good to see you. It's
Oh,
really
yeah,
good to
yeah,
see
yeah.
you, man.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
been, I've been riding on tides, but then I'm back. I'm back on my feet today, despite other challenges, like still the topic we are discussing right now. As you
Uh-huh.
can see, my face is puffy, but then it's about staying positive, and we do what we can, and that is why we are able to actually have this live broadcast. So welcome everybody to this broadcast. My name is Moses Kennedy, your kidney ambassador, and I am glad I'm back with Steve. Keep We'll keep you posted. Thank you so much.
Hey, brother, definitely, like I said, it's definitely good to see you. But this topic today that we're going to be discussing about managing fluid, I'm sure it gets hot over in Kenya. And, kidney warriors anywhere, when it's hot, they may get thirsty and, may drink more than what they're supposed to drink. Do you find yourself in that situation at times?
Oh yes, basically, brother Steve, it's really hot, especially where I am. It's hot during the day, and then it cools during evening hours. So I've been grappling with this since I had a flu, serious one, that really brought me down. But then it is normal at times to take plenty of water, because other conditions you may want to take ice cubes, but they're not available, like such like measures. So I believe every patient has a challenge in this fluid management. I guess this is topic is honestly very important to every warrior's brother Steve.
Yes, and we talked about this before. And as I mentioned earlier on my TikTok broadcast, over here in the United States, you had nearly 750,000 people diagnosed with kidney failure each year. And so I'm sure the number could be higher. I think it's like 2 million worldwide. But when you have that occurring and people starting dialysis at different times throughout the year, they may miss the broadcast or not know about managing fluid or anything about fluid control, because they may be dealing with other varieties of this disease. And so, like I said, you may come on watch this broadcast and say, "Oh, y'all did that maybe 3 months ago." These topics have to be repeated, because when you have new patients to start dialysis in their families, they may miss out. And so, Brother Moses, we know, and for a lot of people who don't know, when the kidneys are not working properly, meaning if you're not urinating or you're not urinating enough, fluid can build up. Just like Brother Moses says, his face is puffy. And so when you're in a situation when you're taking in too much fluid, this can cause swelling in your hands, feet, ankle, and sometimes your face. Extra and or longer dialysis treatment can happen because you got to get off the fluid. Cramping, weakness, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, high blood pressure, which can lead to heart disease, hospitalization, and fluid buildup in the lungs, causing life-threatening health problems called pulmonary edema. And there's many people who deal with these symptoms every day silently. A lot of people you just don't hear about it. You may have some people who could be watching this now or when it's rebroadcast say, yeah, I'm dealing with some of that right now. And unfortunately, on the weekends is when many kidney warriors have a problem managing their fluids because they have the extra day. They had the extra day. So if you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's Friday, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 days till you come back to treatment, opposed to every other day. So that's why and same with Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's why when some people come to dialysis on Monday, they have a lot of fluid on. Or they say Monday is kind of difficult for me, or Tuesday is kind of difficult because they may have a little extra fluid on. Brother Moses, can you elaborate on that?
Oh yes, I know. Three times dialysis is recommended, but just like countries in Africa, most of them, like Kenya, the government only provides for 2 sessions. So it means the period of that fluid accumulation makes all patients vulnerable because of longer time before dialysis. You remember most dialysis patients, they retain a lot of, the urine production is low and the input also is low, and sometimes can be completely not there. So it means the entire fluid that need to be expelled from the body by normal kidneys get retained in the body. Now, this makes it even worse for patients who do not adhere to fluid control measures, and they end up having fluid overload. Yes, thank you.
That's right. That's right. You know, most people on dialysis are allowed between 4 to 6 cups, which equals about 32 to 48 ounces of fluid each day. So imagine TikTok or you watching out in YouTube or Facebook land, 4 to 6 cups of fluid each day. Again, that's 32 to 48 ounces. And the reason they tacked on 48 ounces, because if you still urinate, then they give you a little bit more extra room to wiggle with. But if you don't urinate, then it's 32 ounces per day. Now, if you don't urinate, all right, and you go over that 32 ounces, then you could be heading for a little trouble. Each person is different, okay? But check with your dietitian if you're watching here in the United States. over in East Africa, you know, they don't have a dietitian unless they paying out of the pocket. But if you don't see a dietitian and you have a struggle with managing your fluid, just try to remember, if you could get yourself a measuring cup. I don't know, Brother Moses, do they have places like a dollar store, something like that, where people go in and get a measuring cup? Because you know, you got to put some fundamental things in place. If one doesn't have it, you know, if they don't know what 4 to 6 cups are, or 32 to 48 ounces, you can always get a measuring cup and measure your fluid that way. But it definitely has to be proactive. And while we're talking about measuring cups, and excuse me, let's also talk about other tips for fluid control. Again, here go one: measure the size of your glass. Use small cups and drink only when thirsty. What do you think about that, Brother Moses?
Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes you can consult your doctor to help you know how you measure fluid intake throughout the day.
Yeah, and another thing, what somebody could do to see how much fluid it counts as: let frozen items like popsicles, ice cubes, and sherbet melt once in a measuring cup to see how much fluid is counted as. So if you get some ice, put it in a measuring cup, let it melt. Say if you get 3, 4, 5 pieces of ice, put it in the cup, let it melt, and see how much fluid that count as. It's almost like getting ahead of the game. Use sour hard candy, chewing gum, and lemon slices to moisten your mouth. Did you know about that, Brother Moses? Like
Yes,
using
yes.
hard candy, chewing gum, and lemon slices to moisten your mouth?
Oh yes, oh yes. But I've been spreading the message to others to know that also.
Good, good. Also, freeze lemonade in ice cube trays and use as part of loud fluid. And not only lemonade, if you like iced tea, especially down south, I'm talking about United States, they like iced tea. Lemonade, or your favorite drink or beverage. Get an ice tray and pour it in there, freeze it, and you know, semi-freeze it and use it with ice cubes and suck on it. Also, there's another tip: allow fruits, vegetables ice cold between meals. So if you like cranberry, blueberries or raspberries, like freeze them. Grapes or strawberries, you can enjoy them between meals, freezing them. Also, write down the amount of fluid you drink and track your weight gains between treatment. Do you track your weight gains between treatment, Brother Moses?
Oh yes, yes. We do. We do.
Do you know if any other warriors do it, or they just get off
I guess majority does because each time you get into the facility, you have to take your weight, and then when you are done, then again you have to take your weight. So I think you mean that monitoring?
right?
Yeah.
On your own, writing it down and keeping track when you're not at
No,
the center.
not really, not really, not really. You
Okay.
know, most, most of the facilities, they don't have time even to educate patient, even to that basic requirement. Uh, so it's always a tradition. You get into the machine and you are done and you are out. Next session. So that is why there are still gray areas to be improved on.
Now, many people say, "Oh, we know what fluid is," but what in the kidney world, what is fluid? Beverages and liquid foods, all things that are liquid at room temperature, jello, soup, ice, etc., count as fluid. So remember that anything that are liquid at room temperature count as fluid. And let's look at some conversions. Okay, 8 ounces equal 1 cup equals a 1/4 kilogram weight gain. 16 ounces equals 2 cups is a 1/2 kilo weight gain. 24 ounces is 3 cups. Now, how you get that? You just multiply 3 times 8 is 24 ounces. That's 3/4 kilogram weight gain, and 32 ounces is 1 kilogram. And again, it's recommended that you gain between 1 to 3 kilograms between treatment. And that's why you see somebody, they gain more than 3 liters and they at the center taking off 3.5, 4 liters, trying to do that in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Then most likely you are going to get some cramping because of the fluid shift, fluid coming out of the muscle tissue. And again, I'm just going to go by what fluid includes: water, coffee, tea, juice, carbonated beverages, milk, alcohol, ice cream, popsicle, jello, and soup. Anything you want to say, Brother Moses?
Not really, because fluids, it's broad. So many types of fluids. So we are not limiting to the list you have mentioned, but several, anything liquid form is considered to be fluid.
Yeah. And let me just say this: if you're watching this and you're a caregiver or a family member of a parent, a wife, husband, partner, a child that's undergoing dialysis treatment, let me tell you, you may notice some of these symptoms, and the symptoms I'm about to tell you, and this may be because they could be gaining too much fluid between treatment. Now, what does too much fluid do to your body? 1, swelling or puffiness, also known as edema. It could be in your hands, your legs, your ankles, and your face. It also causes you shortness of breath. We talked about this in the beginning: shortness of breath and fatigue, being more tired if you got on too much fluid. High blood pressure. It makes your heart work harder and may cause CHF, which is congestive heart failure. Also, it can cause you to have more visits to the hospital because of fluid overload. Also may need to get that extra treatment. Something that Brother Moses, in order for them to get an extra treatment, they had to come out of their pocket. Or you may have more problems during dialysis if you have on too much fluid. And what I be my more problems? Quick drop in your blood pressure, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, muscle cramping in your legs, hand, and stomach. And let me tell you what normally happens. And I talked about this too, about cramping on dialysis. What normally happens, cramping can happen anytime on dialysis, but on the average, it happens mostly somewhere in the last hour of treatment. You can have cramping followed by nausea, vomiting, or your hypotension, you pass out. Or it can happen before the cramping. But normally it happens the last hour to the half an hour of treatment. And some patients, they black right out. They don't have any warning. Some people may see black dots, spots. Some may start to yawn. That's why we see somebody yawning and we say, "You okay?" And we check their blood pressure and see it's starting to come down. Brother Moses, anything you want to elaborate on about gaining too much fluid or anything I talked about with the high blood pressure or swelling or puffiness, shortness of breath, or more visit to the hospital?
Well, there is a lot of complication that comes about with fluid overload, and even more serious ones like that becomes a medical emergency. For example, Brother Steve, edema of the lungs. I know this can be sometimes a medical emergency and so costly. So the bottom line is just to always talk to your doctor and be reviewed time and again.
No, absolutely. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. Now, again, how much fluid should you drink? People like that. Now, in most places here in the United States, one gets what's called, Brother Moses, a nutritional assessment. When they go to the dialysis center, they meet with the dietitian and they do an individualized nutritional assessment based on the person type of food they like, their weight. And so once they configure this out, they let the person know how much sodium they can take in each day, how much potassium, phosphorus, and on and on and on. And unfortunately, and over in Kenya, brothers and sisters, they can't get a nutritional assessment. So how are they to know what to drink, what not to drink, how much when they first start dialysis, Brother Moses? Do they see a dietitian in the very beginning and they give them information and they send them off from there, or they just start treatment and once they get out of the hospital, they go to the local clinic and begin their treatment? Is there any education on in the very beginning on what to watch out for, what to eat, what not to eat, and how much that one can consume?
Oh yes, just from the beginning of the onset of dialysis, there is some few information that you are given But then, as I've mentioned earlier, sometimes most of patients get into dialysis. They crash into dialysis just like myself. So at that particular moment, they want to save life. So thereafter, when you get okay, you are sometimes discharged without you being told anything. Perhaps your caregiver could be warned of the food that you are not supposed to eat. That is the much normally they do. And then they say reduce the amount of water. Then thereafter, when you go when you go to other facility now, away from a referral hospital where you are, then things are just normal. You don't ask, you are never told. Yes.
So that makes this information even more important.
Very important.
Okay. So how much fluid should you drink? Again, if you're over in East Africa, try to get yourself a measuring cup, warriors, if you can. But what they recommend is try to drink no more than 6 cups or 48 ounces per day. Again, if you don't make any urine, if you don't urinate, try to drink only 4 cups or 32 ounces per day. Okay? Now, here's why. As we mentioned before, 2 cups, 16 ounces equals 1 pound of weight equals a half a kilogram. Again, 2 cups, 16 ounces of fluid equals 1 pound of weight equals a half a kilogram. 6 cups, 48 ounces of fluid equals 3 pounds of weight equals 1.5 kilograms. And see how we convert that is to convert pounds to kilograms, you divide 2.2. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you divide that by 2.2, and that gives you your weight in kilos. You want to convert kilos to pounds, you're going to multiply 2.2. So if you at a center and they weigh you by kilos, and you say your weight is 50.5, you want to know what it is in pounds. And if that scale doesn't have a unit convert where you can push the button and it goes from pounds to kilos or back, they don't have that, and they just do kilograms. Just know if you're 50.5 or whatever in kilograms, multiply that times 2.2, and that will give you your weight in pounds. Now, we're already talked about what counts as fluid. We said water, and you should be drinking water with your pills. When you take your pills, should be counting that as well. But what counts as fluid, as we talked about, anything that melts at room temperature, milk, cream, non-dairy creamer, coffee, tea, fruit juice, vegetable juice, soda, alcoholic beverages, soup. 1 popsicle equals a 1/4 cup of fluid. A 1/2 cup of Jello equals a 1/2 cup of fluid. A 1/2 cup of ice cream, sherbet, pudding equals 1/4 cup fluid. And then 4 to 5 standard ice cubes equals a 1/2 cup of fluid. Now, how does this all adds up? How does all this add up? What we just said about 1 popsicle and milk and all this. This is where now you have to be intentional. When you know these numbers, they say, this is how it adds up. Example, 1 cup, 8 ounces coffee at breakfast. 1.5 cup, 12 ounces canned soda at lunch. But you know, soda has phosphorus, so careful with that. But if you have something that's 12 ounces at lunch, whether it's tea or lemonade, 1 cup, 8-ounce Jello at lunch, 1 cup, 8-ounce low salt chicken noodle soup at dinner time, a 1/2 cup, 4 ounces sherbet at bedtime, and 1 cup, 8-ounce water for medicine. That is 6 cups of fluid, 48 ounces. Now you might be like, man, that is too strict, Steve. Yeah, but if you don't urinate, and if you got kidney failure, and you want to manage your fluid and not have any of those symptoms that I talked about by having fluid on, like the nausea, the vomiting, the cramping, the shortness of breath, then you're going to have to do something similar to this so you don't have any of those symptoms. And this is how they break it down and being intentional. Brother Moses, you like to chime in on that about the example of adding everything that we mentioned that that's included as fluid?
Oh yes. We can also watch the juicy fruits like watermelon that we take. There need to be a quantity that basically per serving say so. And then that is also very important because from watermelon to pineapple, you know, those are so juicy. So even as they are recommended, you need to know the amount you take per serving. Thank you, Brother Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you something. With these summer months, I mean, we're already halfway through the summer. You might as well say August is next week, right around the corner. And in some places, it's really hot in August, especially down in Texas. But let's look at some of the things that causes thirst that you may have control of that can assist you on keeping your fluid intake down. Salty foods. We know we got a lot of people like Chinese food, restaurant food, pizza, all those type of foods that are high in sodium. Oodles and noodles, ramen noodles. Some people may like tuna fish out of the packet or anything that comes in a can, processed foods, deli meat. I don't care if you go to Subway and have one of them deli sandwiches. They always say, you want something to drink with it? Because we know when you look at, I always talked about it, if you know about the chemistry element chart, right? If you know about the chemistry element chart and you have all the elements on there, you know that the hydrogen molecule and the sodium molecule, they bond together. And so see, why you getting all sophisticated? What are you talking about? Basically, what I mean is wherever salt goes, which is sodium, water is going to follow, hydrogen. That's why you get thirsty. And so when you know these things, and it's okay, that means I can't eat foods high in sodium. Brother Moses, please, you have anything to say?
Well, sodium must be watched keenly because it retains water in our bodies. So basically, I agree with
Exactly.
you. I agree with you.
Yeah. So anything salty, you want to either cut it out or cut it in half. Let me tell you what else can cause stirs. High blood sugar levels. If you're diabetic, that can cause you to be thirsty. Some medicines, you take a medication and next thing you know, you got dry mouth. Like my mouth, it feel like cotton, and you drinking water. And also, a lot of warriors don't know, but saline, which is this right here that we use to treat low blood pressure during hemodialysis, because this has 0.9% sodium chloride. And again, that's salt. So if you start cramping near the end of treatment or your blood pressure drops near the end of treatment and they give you fluid, and when you get off, you may be thirsty. Or even when you on dialysis, you may get thirsty afterwards and say, hey, can you give me a cup of water? So we got to be mindful of salty foods, processed foods, high blood sugar levels, some medicines, and the saline used to treat low blood pressure during dialysis can cause one to be thirsty. Now, let's look at some strategies that we can put in place to help with dry mouth. One, through diet, controlling blood sugar, limiting the use of caffeine. I can't tell you how many kidney warriors, and I'm not criticizing or anything like that, but a lot of places that I worked at throughout my career, especially in the inner city, and come to work and you have some warriors, they sitting outside before dialysis and they smoking a cigarette or drinking some coffee. And that right there, again, the caffeine can cause, again, dry mouth or being thirsty, concentrated sugar, lemon, vinegar, salty foods, products that you can use for this is room humidifier, mouthwash, spray and lozenges, sugar-free gum, fluoride toothpaste, rinse or gel, saliva substitutes. And you got to look at the lifestyle. Again, dry mouth strategies, avoid tobacco and alcohol. Breathe through nose, not mouth. Visit the dentist twice a year and monitor your blood sugar. And, they got products available without a subscription, like dry mouth lozenges, Act dry mouth lozenges. They got mouth spray like Biotine, Oasis, lip balm. But yeah, Brother Moses, anything you want to chime in on? Can you hear me, Brother Moses? Uh-oh. Look like Brother Moses is frozen. And we was having a great show. And now his data package want to act up. Brother Moses. Yeah, you frozen, brother. So we got about 14 minutes left of the show. And, you know, I think that was a good topic that we discussed about fluid control. If you got any questions or concerns about fluid control, please reach out to me through DM, whether it's TikTok or Facebook or my website through the contact form. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and this, you can tie this in with the fluid control. All right. I'm not going to get too much into this. Tonight, I want to possibly get into this. And this is self-management. I talked about this many times. Self-management. This is an important factor when it comes to kidney care. Whether it's you, your mother, your father, your wife, your husband, your brother, your sister, your child, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. Self-management is very critical. It's a critical factor to kidney care, and let me tell you why. The World Health Organization, also known as WHO, defines adherence as the extent to which a person's behavior in taking medications, following a diet, and or executing lifestyle changes corresponds with agreed upon recommendations from a healthcare provider. Let me bring back Brother Moses. We got him back. Brother Moses, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm sorry for that inconvenience.
Oh, that's okay. So Brother Moses, we shifted gears from managing fluids to self-management being a critical factor to kidney care. Self-management is a critical factor to kidney care. And I went on to read that the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, defines adherence as the extent to which a person's behavior in taking medications, following a diet, and or executing lifestyle changes corresponds with agreed upon recommendations from a healthcare provider. So the question is, how adherent are you? Not you, Brother Moses, but we posing this question to the audience. How adherent are you? Do you follow your renal diet? Take your medications as prescribed? Go to every treatment and stay on for the full time? People with kidney disease can live long and well. In fact, Brother Moses, how long you been on dialysis?
7 years.
Okay. So let me repeat this. People with kidney disease can live long and well. Your day-to-day decisions have a big impact on your health. Because of this, you must be an active and informed participant in the healthcare process. You see your healthcare team approximately 12 hours each week. In this case, Brother Moses only sees his healthcare team, the dialysis team, 8 hours each week. In total, that is just half of a day. The rest of the time, you are on your own. The process of dialysis can only do so much to improve your health. On a day-to-day basis, you, me, are in charge of your own health, not no one else. The decision you make has a huge impact on your outcomes and quality of life. And as Lisa Baxter would say, how she said, you ain't never lied. And that what you say, Lisa Baxter? You ain't never lied. Because this is so true. The decision that one makes have a huge impact on their outcomes and quality of life. And what I mean by that, if you don't take certain medicines, like your phosphorus binders, your calcium medicine, this can have a major impact down the road if one decides to get a transplant. And then when you go get an evaluation and they do all the workup and you go and to the cardiologist and they say, we're sorry that we have to inform you you're not eligible because you have calcification around your heart. Or something that you may have did in the earlier years that you neglected to do, and then sometime in the future you had to change your heart and started going by the book. And now it's too late. And you see that a lot. Not just with kidney disease. You see it with alcoholism. Now, how that to equate? Because you have one say, look, you need to stop drinking or you're going to mess around and get cirrhosis of the liver. One drunk for 30 years and then he decided to stop, change their life, become sober. They've been sober for 8 years, living their life, and then the next thing you know, who's there? It's hepatitis C. It's cirrhosis. And now, as they say, you're getting that bill in the mail. Something that you done years ago, you changed your life. Now you got to accept what comes along with the aftermath. It's the same with kidney disease. They say, hey, you need to take these phosphorus binders. And you're like, no, they hurt my stomach. And you throw them away. You know, one could just say, I'm defiant and I don't want to take it. And then next thing you know, years later, your bones are hurting. And this is what makes me mad, because a lot of places where I work, when we come to the person and give them the pills for the bones and minerals, and they like, I don't want it. I ain't gonna take it. They throw it away. And you got people like Brother Moses who needs the medicine They can't get it because the insurance doesn't pay for it. And this brother is dealing with the aftermath of not able to properly get that medicine. And now he got to deal with the long-term effect of not getting the medicine because the means, because they don't give it like they do in the United States where Medicare pays for it. That's what I'm saying. You have a lot of waste over here in the United States, and that same waste could be used to help other people. And so that's what I'm saying. The decisions you make, whether you just got diagnosed or you're on dialysis, you've been on it for years, or you just started, whether you're drinking too much fluid or you're not drinking the protein drink that they offer you like this because you're not getting enough protein, whatever decisions you make, just know has a huge impact on your outcomes, meaning how well you feel and the quality of life that you have with this disease. And I'm going to just just go over 4 important lessons, and then we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to go back over this tonight on TikTok. And Brother Moses, I'll let you weigh in after I go over this. But here are, I'm going to talk about the tips tonight, but there are 4 important lessons one needs to learn as a person living with chronic renal disease. 4 important lessons. If you're watching this on TikTok, share it. You're watching this, share this. Because it could be you, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your relatives, your partner. 4 important lessons. 1, your illness is serious. Let's make no mistakes here. Kidney disease is serious. There are still patients out there who believe they have the not so serious kind of kidney disease. If you don't believe it is serious, you will never make changes to improve your health. This can lead to more serious health problems. I can't tell you the many people I've seen who found out they had stage 3 and didn't go do nothing about it because they said, I didn't have any symptoms. It didn't bother me. 2, your condition is already self-managed. Yeah, your condition is already self-managed. And what do I mean by that? Every decision you make throughout the day, every decision you make throughout the day, from what you eat to whether you walk or ride the bus, has an influence on your health. You are the most important individual in managing your illness. You, not me. I can give you the information, but you are the most important person that can manage your illness. Not Brother Moses, not the TikTok chat, or not the Facebook groups, but you. Number 3, you have options. Yeah, if you got kidney disease, you have options. And what do I mean by that? There is rarely one perfect way to treat a condition. As they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. In the case of kidney failure, for example, patients can be treated through different types of dialysis. Each type requires a different degree of involvement from the patient and length of time and frequency on the machine. Transplantation is also a treatment option. You need to understand the difference. Let me repeat that. One need to understand the different treatment options available and look at the personal cost. Look at the personal costs and benefits of each. I always say that. Look at the risk and benefits of each treatment option, and then look at your lifestyle. Again, only you, not me, only you can decide if the benefits are greater than the cost. Let me repeat that. Only you can decide if the benefits are greater than the cost. And we know when it comes to, like, for instance, CAPD, we know the cost of that. The cost is peritonitis. Losing that catheter and having to go in center or do home hemo. We know the cost of outpatient. What's some of the costs of outpatient? Somebody infiltrating your arm, you getting on the machine late, your dialyzer clotting, short staff. And I can go on and on and on. That's the cost. Getting the treatment, waiting 45 minutes to an hour to get on dialysis because they don't have any staff. That's the cost. And number four, you can change your behavior. Yeah, you can change your behavior. Rarely do patients leave the doctor's office and immediately enact whatever changes was recommended. And I say that like I could recommend Brother Moses and I could do this broadcast till we turn blue. But rarely do people going to leave this broadcast and do what we suggested or do the tips like the ice cubes and spraying your mouth with a mist bottle to keep it dry and stuff like that. The reality is that it often has to be enacted in a series of steps. Let me repeat that again. Rarely do patients leave the doctor's office and immediately enact whatever change was recommended. The reality is that it often has to be enacted in a series of steps. Significant behavioral changes can be made by setting small goals. Yes, don't try to make these large goals that you can't, impossible to do. You got to take it a step at a time, one bite at a time. By setting small goals, taking that first step and figuring out what you learn about yourself along the way. And the rest I'm going to talk about tonight. But Brother Moses, anything you want to say about what I talked about the four important lessons one should learn as a person living with chronic kidney disease?
Well, very true, Steve. You've spoken it all because the most important thing is that there need to be also self-management on your part as a patient, as a warrior. So you don't just get to see your care team, then you don't do what you're supposed to do. So entirely, much of the percentage is on your side to also have that self. Uh, you need self also management, so that all this makes it easier for your care team to even serve you better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Brother Moses. I appreciate that. Now, we're over our time, but Brother Moses, this has been a great show. We didn't have really no internet interference. Let me see if we got a comment here. Oh, Tabitha, one key word, you are the most important person in your care. That's Tabitha. Thank you, Tabitha, for comment. We really appreciate that. And you're right. And Tabitha, I think Tabitha works in dialysis or is a caregiver. I'm not sure.
I guess she's a nutritionist or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Tabitha, please tell us which is which.
And we got to possibly, Brother Moses, bring on the show. So, but anyway, Brother Moses, this has been a great topic. And maybe next week we can get into go into the self management, really talk about it, and come back with possibly some resources and some tips that go along with that. So I want to talk about it tonight on TikTok, but next week I think that should be our topic, self-management, because kidney warriors over in especially in Kenya that's only doing twice a week, I think they can benefit from self-management. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
all right, Brother Moses, any last parting words before we end this broadcast? The floor is yours.
Oh, yes. Once again, I want to encourage you to, even if you miss it right now, you can get it recorded on Steve the Kidney Nurse YouTube and the Figure Initiative. So we'll keep you posted each time. And again, we are back. Hopefully, we are back every Sunday, same time, same hour. So we shall give you more information sessions. You can direct also your queries to Brother Steve, who is an author of several books now, of 4 books, and get answered accordingly, professionally. That is to say, thank you.
Oh yeah, see, she's right. She's a nurse and counselor for kidney patients.
Yeah. Thank you, Tabitha.
See, I got to get my book. I got to figure out because this new book that's coming out, it's already been worked on at the editor. Navigating the Dialysis Journey, a guide for family. Man, if I can get that book over to Kenya, like if there was an organization over there that can buy a bulk of books, any book, I think this new one would be the best one. Navigating the Dialysis Journey, a guide for families. And I can't wait till that is released, which hopefully will be the middle of next month or close to the end. It goes through that whole publication process. So yeah, Brother Moses, absolutely. And guys, let me tell you, as he said, we got books available. Here go outpatient, how to survive outpatient hemodialysis. Then I got conquering the big three right here. And then the dialysis patient handbook of information. So when I'm not short of no books, they're here waiting to be sold. We got a bundle pack. Just go on the website, SteveTheKidneyNurse.com, and check them out. So, Brother Moses, let me go. I got to start the day, but again, man, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're back, and I'm going to keep sending you thoughts and prayers, and we'll be talking behind the scenes. I still haven't forgot about you, and so with that being said, thank you, brother, and I'll be reaching out to you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, you too, Brother Moses. To everybody else, take care, God bless, and we see you next week. Thanks for joining Kidney Hub East Africa with host Steve the Kidney Nurse and Brother Moses Kennedy. We see y'all soon. Peace.